What are the three major industries that are going to be huge in government contracting over the next decade? Well, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So I want to focus in on this because I think it's super important for you to hear from me. These are Mike's picks on three industries that aren't going anywhere, that are going to be massive over the next decade, probably the next 50 years, if I had to really say for sure. But these are the big ones. So, number one, custom computer programming. So, this has been around for a while. It's huge. It touches all kinds of things inside the government. And I just don't see this going anywhere. So, if you do anything in custom computer programming, this is going to be a big opportunity for you over the next decade plus. And the one caveat I would put out there is you need to know what systems and things the government's already using, be willing to integrate things, be able to migrate things away from things. So, like, the government's huge on SharePoint. That's one of the things they use. They use PeopleSoft and other different software applications. So, there's going to be a lot of need for customization in those areas, but there's also going to be a lot of need for migration, either to or from those types of things. And so there's a lot of technologies. I can't even begin to list out what's all out there, but the government uses so many different things. When it gets into computer programming languages, there's probably an endless sea of options there in the computer programming languages. All the core stuff is really, really important. But being able to customize things for the government is just not going anywhere. It's huge. It's always going to be huge. We're talking billions of dollars every single year. And I just see this as a thriving opportunity. It's under the custom computer programming industry, if you will. And so if you do something in that space, there's massive opportunity for you. So the next one I want to talk about is a trend that I see just getting worse. And it's in the news. We've been talking about it for the last, I don't know, 5-10 years, pretty seriously. It's only gotten worse in the last 2 years, is staffing. The government is always going to have a need for butts in seats. That's the language that you're always going to hear. Putting people in seats is a huge deal. And so, whether it is working directly with the government or whether it is working with primes who are trying to fill roles, finding talent and putting them in the job is going to continue to be extremely difficult. And because it's extremely difficult, that's why there's so much opportunity. So the companies that are continually building a database of talent are the companies that are going to continue to win work because they can quickly put people in jobs. And that's going to be the difference. It's how quickly can you fill a role? And with the other caveat there is with a talented person. Anybody can just fill a role, but how quickly can you fill a role with a really talented person? And the more complex that role is, the harder it is for a lot of people to fill those. And so you can pick any sort of niche in I call it the butts and seats category or the staffing category here. And you could pick any niche, whether it's in the medical field, whether it's in the technology field, whether it's in cybersecurity, janitorial. It almost doesn't matter. You can pick a niche in there and you're going to thrive over the next decade plus in this. So it's just not going anywhere. I see it getting worse, not better anytime soon. So I'm shooting this video in September of 2022. And I would say for the next 5 to 10 years, whoever can fill seats the fastest is going to win a lot of work. So that kind of parlays into my number 3 here, which is PM services. So project management services. So I can't say enough good things about project management services. Every single project, every single contract, they always have somebody managing those kind of things. And it's either a government employee, a contracted employee, somebody else out there. The prime has them, the subs have them. PM services are going to be huge. They're going to continue to grow. It's not super hard to go and get your PM certifications. The harder part is getting the practical experience for that, but there's some really great programs for the military where they can transition into that. That's a whole other video podcast series that's out there. I've talked with my good friend over Doc Wright over at Vets to PM about some of that kind of stuff. It's the Skill Bridge program is the one the military uses, and so great opportunities there for transitioning military to get their PM certification and then get some practical experience and then get on job, basically. And so that role is so vital to everything that's out there. I just see it becoming a more important service. So if you're in the PM industry and you focus, you niche yourself. Let's say you say, hey, look, we're going to focus on the CDC, or we're going to focus on Army, or we're going to focus on nuclear energy, or we're going to focus on cybersecurity PMs, whatever it may be. If you niche your PMs, you're going to find that you have a lot of work in the multi-millions of dollars of work for startup companies. Millions and millions of dollars of work. There's billions in the PM game, but there's a lot of work for people that are new to the game because it's so difficult. And here's one of the things I like about PMs is the more skilled you get in different areas. Like I said, you could go from like managing just like building maintenance and stuff like that to managing like cybersecurity implementations, ERP implementations, nuclear energy, all these different things. The farther you go up that food chain, the more expensive those people are. There's often a lot of margin in those people. So you could put 2 or 3 of those people on task versus 12 of a lower skill PM and make a lot more money. So there's a lot of option in the PM game. I can't say enough good things about it. So my big 3, number 1, custom computer programming. It's not going anywhere. Number 2 is staffing, putting those butts in seats. It's just going to get harder to find that. And then number 3 was the PM services. If you provide PM services, and the next decade plus is going to be gangbusters for you. It's probably not going anywhere for the next 50 years, but man, these 3 are just going to take off. There's a handful of other small ones that I see out there that will allow like one-person businesses to really take advantage of. But on the whole, these are the most effective. And the really interesting thing that I like about whether it's custom computer programming, whether it is the staffing, or whether it is PM services, they all have an opportunity for you to initially put yourself on contract to get some cash flow and some experience. And then as you go, hire people on. Some really require that, that you can find those people and put them on. And it doesn't allow for you to just be a one-person company and actually grow. And so I like the flexibility that these 3 industries bring to government contracting. So if you have any questions about this or want to know any more about it, by all means, please reach out to me. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me via email. Wherever you saw this video, if you just want to add a comment, we follow all that kind of stuff, and I will make sure and get back with you. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and all those kind of cool things so other people can find this content, and we'll see you next time.